Thanks for listening to Gossip with Celebrity, brought to you by Celebrity.com. This week we talk about the Oscars and about the Royals. We end with our weekly feature, The Comments of the Week. The stories, photos, and tweets we talk about can be found at Celebrity.com/podcast under episode 184. Hi, I'm Katie, the founder and editor of Celebrity.com, and I write as Celebrity.
And I'm Chandra, I'm the head writer for Celebrity, and I write as Kaiser.
So we were off for a while. We haven't recorded in a while. I'm still, getting my footing after my surgery. And we've had like a ton of extreme weather here in Virginia where we live. 1 week, my power was out.
It's been the worst winter we've had in a long time.
Yeah, it's been really bad. Plus, we just had award season, and that was a lot. But we're over that now. Thanks so much for listening to us. And if you're not subscribed to our mailing list, I'll put a link in the post for this podcast. It's number 184, and that helps us out too. So I want to tell you this thing that just happened. I was taking a nap this afternoon, and I woke up and checked my email, and I got a copyright notice. And I was like, what is this? It's from the lady who says she took the photo of the viral, was it blue and silver or black and silver, blue and gold or whatever dress from 10 years ago? You remember that?
Yeah, white and gold or black and blue.
Yeah. So it was just like an iCloud. And she was like, I'm the original copyright holder and I want compensation. You recently published about the anniversary of the dress. And I'm like, wait. Rosie wrote that. I know I did the photos, and I know I didn't put a picture of the dress in there. I looked at the post. I did not include her picture, and she still sent me a copyright notice. It was about Jenna Bush Hager wearing the dress. So the only thing, right? And it's not even her picture. But I did embed an Instagram from today's show. There was a 4-panel picture, and the dress was in one of the panels of the Instagram. There's legal precedent. You can't sue somebody for including an Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny.
And so I was like, how am I going to prove to this lady? We have people who comment all the time without reading what we actually wrote. But she sent me a copyright notice without actually looking at the post. So I was like, how do I prove? I looked on Wayback Machine and it didn't have it. Archive PH had an archive version of it from late February. So I can prove that I never included her picture. And I was like, do I even ask my lawyer? Do I even respond to her? What do I do? It'll cost me a couple $100 if I get the lawyer. So I'm probably just going to ignore it because, lady, I didn't publish your picture. I don't know what to say.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was annoying, but, it happens.
She's probably a scammer anyway, for goodness sake.
Yeah, it could just be somebody using the name and trying to get money. You're right. So anyway,
the whole thing started on social media anyway. The original dress issue, it was a tweet.
I don't know. I don't remember enough about it.
No, it is.
Okay.
I remember it. I remember. It started as a tweet.
I think she posted it on Facebook first, and then people took it and put it as a tweet. But yeah, right. It might just be somebody who has that name as an email, and because she had nothing to prove that it was her, and I didn't even include the picture. So I'm going to ignore it. I'm like, whoa. So I just finished watching Paradise with Sterling K. Brown on Hulu. I have high standards, and I really liked the second to last episode. I didn't like the finale, but everybody I know who watched it did, so I shouldn't complain. I guess I would recommend it.
No, I heard from other people, or I saw on other sites that the finale sort of shit the bed.
It really did. And I felt crazy because I didn't want to say anything. Karen really liked it. Zakiya liked it. Lisa's husband liked it. We were all talking last night on Zoom. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm not going to be the one person who's like, oh, this sucks. But you could tell it was a different writer.
I'm fine with being that person, especially if I have really strong feelings about a show dropping off quality. I'm like, I get really mad and I want to talk about how much I fucking hate that the quality dropped off.
It really did. I was like, really? That's what you're going to do? And yeah.
What was like that for me was that Feud, Capote versus the Swans. There were a few really great episodes,
the first few ones.
Yeah.
All of his shows do that. Every single Ryan Murphy show I've watched is like that. Sorry to interrupt you.
Probably.
Yeah.
No, that's probably true. But like it shit the bed so badly in the last 2 episodes. And I'm like, why are they even doing any of this?
He just has all these crazy, wild things happening in his shows. Like they'll be fine for a while and then you're like, what? But to be fair, I didn't watch Pose, and I heard Pose was really good start to end, but...
Oh, I don't think he was a showrunner on that. I think he just produced
there
it.
You go.
Yeah.
One show I really like is The Pitt. I've been watching that. And I'll watch it like right at 9 when it premieres. I'm so addicted to it. It's on HBO. It's really good. It's medical drama, and it's like so stressful and so much crazy shit happening. I really feel like I learned about some medical conditions. No, seriously. And the doctors who review it say it's pretty accurate. Like, I didn't know how invasive it was to intubate somebody, and they had a whole plot line about that, and it's quite good.
Ew, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah,
like, just,
I don't think you could watch
all of
it.
that. But I've been watching Severance. We both have.
Yeah, we're both watching that show. It's some dark... I like it, but it's dark.
Like, we're recording this on Thursday, so the last episode that both of us watched was the one that was focused on Gemma. And that's, like, the only thing we're going to say about it. But, like, that was really... It was really sad.
It's sad, and... Because I don't want to do any spoilers, but, I'm mad for them.
And before this, I've never really been an Adam Scott fan, but he is doing an incredible job.
He can act. He's really good.
And I've always been a John Turturro fan, and I want more Turturro. I really want to find out what his character is doing.
He's very good.
And John Noble. I was not expecting John Noble to turn up as a guest star in Severance. He turns up in the weirdest TV shows.
I don't know him that well. What do you know him from?
Well, he was on that Joshua Jackson show for a while.
Fringe?
That my mom... Yeah, Fringe.
Okay.
My mom loved that.
Oh, neat.
And he played a recurring character on Elementary. He played Sherlock's father.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch that. I know you did.
But he's been around forever. It's crazy to see him in this small little part on Severance. And I've also been watching the White Lotus, which is I guess one of the last water cooler shows. It's the thing that almost everyone is watching and talking about online.
The Pitt's up there, I'm telling you. But
yeah, all right. But the White Lotus is a lot gentler.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this season. I've seen some people who are like, it's kind of boring. It's a formula now. It's not a formula. There's some really strange shit going down on the White Lotus this season.
Okay, neat. Maybe I'll watch it. I only watched the first season, and then I didn't watch the second season. But you told me the second season's better, and this season's really good too.
The reason why I loved the second season so much is that there was someone to root for in it.
Oh, okay.
All these people are pretty terrible. Yeah. Even the sympathetic ones are pretty terrible. But in the second season, there were these 2 Italian hookers, and they were hilarious, and they were scammers. They were just so much fun.
Nice.
And I loved seeing them succeed and win.
Okay.
And finagle their way into really great opportunities. And then there's a character like that sort of in this third season, a young woman who I'm really rooting for.
Oh, she's Walton Goggins' young wife from what I've read online.
Yeah, young partner, girlfriend.
Yeah. And
she's played by British actress Amy Lou Woods. And she's perfect. If anything happens to her character, I'm just going to burn the whole shit down. Nothing can happen to her because she's adorable.
Oh, okay, nice. Maybe I'll check it out. I'm looking for more shows.
One final show shout out is the docuseries Court of Gold on Netflix.
Okay.
It's really good. It's just entirely about the men's basketball tournament at the Olympics. And they actually got cameras inside Team USA, Team Serbia, Team Canada, and Team France. It's really cool. You never get that kind of locker room experience.
Mm-hmm.
They were stressed out. It was the Olympics, and they were really feeling the pressure.
Aw, I remember how lovely it was, how much we won.
Yeah, well, the really stressful moment was when Team USA played Serbia in the semifinals. Everyone was like, "Oh shit, USA is gonna lose this," because Serbia was just kicking our asses, and Steph Curry just kind of stepped up at the last minute.
Neat. Well, I know that, but Not exactly. I know we won.
But they're just really cool moments in there.
Okay.
The Obamas produced it.
Oh, great.
So I think that's how they got so much access.
I keep wanting to call it Hereditary.
Heretic.
I watched Heretic last night. I emailed you, I rented Hereditary. And you're like, wait, you hate Toni Collette. I was like, no. The other scary H movie with the H-E-R. Yeah, I watched it. It's not worth renting. Like, wait till it's free. That's all I'm saying. I fast forwarded through the second half. And I like horror movies. It was just whatever.
The writer-director, Richard Curtis, he was talking about Hugh Grant. He called Heretic a documentary about Hugh.
He was good in it. My son, I told him I was watching it, and he was like, did Hugh Grant sing Creep yet? I was like, yeah, how did you know that? All right, let's talk about the Oscars. So we had the Oscars this week, and you guys watched it, I'm sure. You know the highlights, and Anora won the most awards. And you were rooting for that. You loved that movie. We talked about that in our last few podcasts.
Yeah, I saw it. I actually saw it in the theaters last year, and I just loved it. I love weird independent films. I just do. I love supporting independent theaters. I love supporting independent film. I loved Sean Baker's other movie, his last previous
Florida
movie,
Project.
The Florida Project. I thought that was really underrated, and Willem Dafoe should have gotten a lot more attention.
I like Tangerine a lot. That's my
I haven't
favorite
seen that,
one
actually. But.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I loved Anora. I was so happy for Mikey Madison. I did not want Demi Moore to win. And I feel like all of the... poor Demi, she really should. Well, she's got a SAG award now. She's got a Golden Globe. She's got a Critics' Choice Award. She won some stuff. And, she's not going home empty-handed completely.
Yeah, she did fine. I think that it wasn't really fair to her to be like, oh, poor Demi. But also, she's a grown woman. She'll do fine. She'll move on to other things. I also don't agree with giving Oscars for Lifetime Achievement. I think the Oscar should be for that specific movie and that performance.
Yeah. I think the only time a Lifetime Achievement sort of award works is if this standalone performance is also really good. I would have been fine with Ralph Fiennes winning for Conclave because I loved his performance in that movie, and he also has the body of work to back it up.
Totally fair. And I just want to shout out to June Squibb and the movie Thelma, which was my favorite movie last year and did not get any Oscar. I think they just didn't put money into a campaign, and it didn't get any Independent Spirit Awards either. And it was a great movie. And at least June Squibb, she's going on to do a film with Scarlett Johansson directing. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I'm glad that she went to the Oscars at least.
That's cool. And you know what else it could have been is the time of when the movie came out.
It came out at the beginning of the year.
And everyone was saying that about Dune 2. If Dune 2 had come out later in the year, it might have had a much bigger presence during the award season.
Yeah. One thing I learned from your coverage of the Emilia Perez, Carlos Sofia Gascon mass is how much money it costs to campaign. Mm-hmm. I knew it costs money and time and effort, but I didn't even have an understanding of the ballpark of the money involved for that.
I just read something about how much money Neon spent on Anora's campaign. So Sean Baker made Anora for $6 million, which is crazy that it only cost that small amount. And they spent easily $20 million promoting it and doing all of the award season blitz for it.
Yeah, that paid off for them.
It did.
That's a crazy gamble. It really is.
And the people at Neon said that their biggest competition they see during the award season is Netflix, because Netflix has all of this money to just throw around during award season.
And they really should have thrown it at Maria instead of that problematic mess, Emilia Perez.
I agree. It would have been fun to see Angelina Jolie throughout the award season.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. I'm not that upset about it, but yeah, she should have gotten an Oscar nomination. And I feel bad for Nicole Kidman, too, because I think she probably did a really good job in Baby Girl.
We didn't watch it, but...
Yeah, whatever. She's Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
They nominated her for that stupid Lucille Ball movie.
I know. It was so dumb. All right, let's move on to the Royals. So since we last recorded, we had the Invictus Games in Canada, and that was great. And Duchess Meghan's show with Love Meghan came out on Netflix. And we're going to talk about that in a moment, but we have some other stuff we want to cover. You know, we have to cover the lead up to it where Will and Kate went to Wales and pretended like they were making cakes. And Kate was like, oh, I make jam too. And I'm going to give my recipe away. And it just was so ham-fisted, obvious, transparent, copy keen. Ugh.
It was really funny. When I saw the jam headlines, I was like, is she really doing that?
Yes. But, she said it to someone, and someone just overheard it. You know, they just happened to go to a community garden with a plum tree. And, I have plum trees. I make jam. Would you like my jam recipe? Oh, please.
And what's funny is going into the day of events in Wales, I thought, this is entirely about how they got caught on vacation. They skipped the BAFTAs. There was this whole big thing. I was like, so they're just doing this penance for skipping the BAFTAs and going on vacation. No, they had a whole other reason for going to Wales. They were doing this copy keen skit about Harry and Meghan, or mostly Meghan.
It was so silly. So silly. So we also got this dumb comparison article about, Kate didn't marry for prestige and a title. She married in spite of that. And Meghan married for that. And I'm like, wait, which one had a hit TV show and was UN ambassador and had a lifestyle blog and was jet setting with her friends? And which one was working at, where did she work? Jigsaw, part-time, not showing up for everything.
Yeah, for 7 months.
It almost felt like a parody, because everybody knows that Kate put herself in William's path, and Meghan was just living her life, and Harry texted her.
What I found funny about that piece, the comparison piece, was that it was one of the very few ones that have come out this week. There's been a real silence. It's almost like they're all sitting there in their palaces and kind of absorbing the TV show and trying to figure out what they do next. Oh God, how do we copy this? And, how do we clap back at Meghan cooking?
There's a lot of ways that they're going to copy. You remember when Harry and Meghan were doing Zoom interviews with the couch and the pictures behind them? And then all of a sudden... Kate was so and William had the exact same setup. Exact. They could have had their kitchen behind them. They could have been in the kids' rooms. Or an office. Kate will start wearing the big blousy pants and the cream sweaters. And
yep, probably. And all of a sudden she'll be arranging flowers and...
Yeah, exactly.
Her next event will have her cooking, and
she'll cut her kids' sandwiches into little cookie cutter shapes. All right, so let's talk about With Love Meghan. It's a cute little show. I find it very soothing. I watch it and it makes me feel happy and I can do this stuff for my friends and family too. Sometimes I feel like I cooked this food, that's enough, but you can go a little further and make it look pretty and do little nice touches. I learned a few things about cooking, and not about baking as much because I'm really into baking, but I learned a few things. I found it really fun. I've only watched the first 5 episodes. I have 3 more to go.
I've watched the whole thing. I have my favorite episodes. I have my not so favorite episodes. Okay. None of them are bad, but there were definitely some high points, I thought. The Roy Choi episode was my favorite by far.
Mine too. I bought a whole thing of chicken wings and I'm going to try to do that. And we recently found the page that has all the recipes for With Love Meghan. So I bought the chicken wings. I'm going to see if I have enough ingredients to make them. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow.
And then there's the episode with Vicky Tsai. I think you pronounce her name.
Is she the Tatcha founder?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't watch that one yet, but Amira loved it.
Yeah, she's very charming. And I think the reason why those 2 episodes are my favorite ones is because Meghan is learning a new recipe.
Okay.
Those are the 2 where Meghan is learning how to do something and someone is teaching Meghan. You can see her acting kind of as a sous chef.
Neat.
that's, I think, a real strength of the show is that, like, sometimes she's teaching, sometimes she's being taught. It plays better when she's with someone and she has someone to talk to. Another favorite, I just found it really funny, was when her girlfriends came over, Abigail Spencer and
Kelly,
what's her face?
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't remember.
They come over and you can really tell that Meghan and Abigail have been friends for many, many years. And like the way they tease each other and like they're even like kind of making fun of each other a little bit. It's very funny and you can see how Meghan is with her girlfriends.
That was nice. And I liked how she said they met where they were doing an audition and Abigail got the part and Meghan didn't. And then later Abigail came on to Suits.
That was sweet.
Abigail was like putting herself down and Megan's like, you can do this. And she's teaching him how to debone a fish. I didn't know that about salting a fish. Like it doesn't make it super salty. It just...
Yeah, it encases it.
It just makes it juicier or whatever. And you can scrape it off. I've never deboned a fish. So it made me feel like, okay, I can do some of these things.
When Abigail reaches for the tiny little thing of salt, I was laughing my ass off.
And Harry likes salt. He's a man after my own heart. I like making bagels, and I always make one salt bagel for myself. I don't make two, or I'll eat two bagels. I make a salt bagel. I love it. I would give them to my neighbors, and they were like, could you just give us plain bagels next time? Because the salt ones are too salty. And I was like, that's the point, but okay.
So someone was talking about how chefs they like really salt the fuck out of their pasta water. And I was like,
yeah, I saw that on Chopped.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm going to try that the next time I make pasta. And I salted the fuck out of my pasta water. That pasta was disgusting. I'm never doing that again. I'm just putting a little bit of salt and then I'll add it as necessary once the dish is finished.
Okay, all right. I probably would have liked it. I liked the one pot pasta she made. And I've seen that technique. So I subscribe, I don't get them all the time, but Purple Carrot and HelloFresh, I've had like the delivery service where you put the food together. It kind of helped me teach my son how to cook sometimes. They use the pasta water again in the sauce. And that's where I learned how to do that, but I forget to do it. It seems weird to use the pasta water later, but it does. It helps it be creamy and stuff like that. So I learned a few things. It reminded me of stuff. The pickling that Roy Choi did, that
was cool.
Yeah.
And that's the most food that she made in one episode, is like with the Roy Choi episode. I think that's why I liked it too, is that it was...
a lot of food.
I love food, but I love like that she was really like working. And he was like even trying to like tease her a little bit to get her to make a really great crudité platter. That was funny to me.
They were fun. They played off each other well, and they were like bonding and stuff.
Yeah.
I was looking at his cookbook. I'm sure it's going to give his profile a boost too. With Love Macon, the last time I checked, it was number 5 on Netflix. Like, that's huge.
I mean, first of all, I hope that she gets a second season, and like Roy Choi should come back. They had a lot of chemistry together, and like Harry's not going to like that. So that's the way to get Harry on the show. He's like, stop teaching my wife how to make chicken wings,
I mean, it's a great little show. It's similar to other shows, I guess. I don't watch a lot of cooking shows, but you were saying it's got a familiar format.
Yeah, that was the thing that I noticed with all the reviews. It was like the people reviewing With Love Meghan had never watched a cooking show.
I'm kind of floored. Like, I was looking around. I guess the main complaint was it's not relatable. I saw one outlet said it was like Marie Antoinette, and it wasn't a negative outlet. It was one that I considered to be pretty good when it comes to TV reviews. I was floored by some of that. I was like, really?
And the thing is that me, as someone who watches a lot of like cooking programs and lifestyle programs, like what Meghan is doing is not reinventing the wheel. She is absolutely following in the path of like Martha Stewart and Ina Garten and even like Giada.
And she makes it really accessible. I like how she says, you can do these small things. It can be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. And she's making memories for her guests and her family, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's that. And like, I think there are some ways to improve the show, especially with the pacing.
And the sound editing. There's way too much loud music. I think it's because I do this. I edit our podcast. But there's too much loud music and the songs are too on the nose. Like playing Sugar Sugar when she's making donuts. Come on. Please.
That's like something Kate would do.
Yeah, it's cheesy. But I mean, it's a great little show, and a lot of other shows do that too. So,
well, I mean, like, my point is that what did the TV critics or the people who are critiquing Meghan's show, what did they really expect? It was always going to be cooking and lifestyle. It's a very well-trod path. I think it's just like a West Coast version of Ina Garden. There were various points I thought, is this episode sponsored by the California Board of Tourism? It was so much about like California and like how the land is great and how you can have this great garden and look at all these scenic views. And like, none of it is groundbreaking. It's a really sweet, nice show. Why are you putting all of this like emphasis on it needed to be this? She needed to talk about the royals, or she needed to do this.
I want to quote you because I like what you wrote about it today. You were covering the Hollywood Reporter's hit piece on Meghan. And you wrote, quote, in the case of With Love Meghan, it's different in the sense that there will always be a large and very vocal contingent of people who despise Meghan and hold her to an impossible standard, that she must be all things at once. And when she does portray herself as a glossy homemaker who stays in her lifestyle lane, they hate that too.
Yeah, and that's all she's doing is being a glossy homemaker. That's fine.
Yeah, and parts of it are very California rich mom, because that's who she is.
Yeah.
And she's not claiming to be anything else. She's not saying we need to get, every colorful vegetable to put on the plate. She's saying, put this on the plate, make it look pretty, it'll be nice.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't see how Netflix will not greenlight another season. I mean, they should, just keep making these. I'm sure it's pretty like low cost production, but I hope that they are able to like take a little bit of the criticism of just like, kind of things that we're talking about, like the sound editing, pacing issues, and like just work that out, and don't try to like say, okay, well, people hated this, so we're just going to totally reinvent it. No, you don't need to reinvent it. You just need to like make a few little updates here and there for the second season.
Like you wrote, it doesn't matter what she does.
Yeah.
They're going to find fault with it. I don't know how she could be more. Yeah, she's a little bit guarded. Of course she is, but she's very genuine. This is who she is. She's showing us. She's making things nice for her family, and she clearly loves it. You cannot fake that.
And I mean, this is the thing that we've said about Meghan for 7-8 years now, is that it's really difficult to make a good faith criticism or critique of anything that she's doing because she gets so much hatred.
Yeah, I mean, there's some minor things. Oh, you could do this and do this better, but
you could add more buttercream. You could,
Yeah, the cake looked a little dry, I would have liked it to be easier to find the recipes. Like, I was elated when I found those recipes, and I really had to dig.
Yeah.
So I think that they should advertise that.
Or she should just do a cookbook. I think that would be a lot better.
Or she should put it on her Instagram, here's all the recipes. Like, here's the link to the Netflix page. But, I mean, come on. Like you said, overall, it's pretty great,
It's good. And this is, like, in general, a general statement about Meghan, about the show, about me. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yeah, and we can't always have glowing coverage of her. And when we do, it's not interesting to people. And somebody has to push back on these narratives that are in the British press. And you are very reserved about what you do push back on. And I'm proud of how you've done that, how we've done that over the years. Somebody has to push back on this, especially when it's bleeding into the American press and they're running these unhinged, ridiculous reviews of her really cute lifestyle show.
And that's,
sorry, I could go off.
No, thank you for that. And I'll say something else, something very positive about Meghan, which is she was very smart this week about her PR. And that's rarely been the case for the Sussexes, I hate to say.
Well, I think that it's hard for them because no matter what they do, they get burned. So they're just trying not to get burned. But go ahead.
Sorry. But I didn't even realize the depth of like bad reviews that her show was getting because there was so much positivity coming from Team Sussex. because she was on the cover of People, because she went to New York, because she's doing the Drew Barrymore show. Like, she's really going out there and like creating her own positive headlines.
Good. And she should keep that up. I really like what she's doing with Instagram too.
Yeah, that's helped a lot. But like, the overall strategy has been a lot better this week, this year.
Exactly.
I hope that this is a permanent change in how they deal with all of this.
It should be. They did a good job around Invictus, too.
The thing about Invictus that was so strange was, obviously, Meghan got a lot of attention for the time that she was in Canada. But, like, once she left, like, the British press almost completely ignored Harry. It was very strange.
Yeah.
But, like, he got really positive headlines otherwise.
And he's doing a lot of good for the veterans and highlighting the veteran stories.
Yeah. The next Invictus Games are years away, but like they're going to be a fucking mess in Birmingham. Yeah.
So we talked about With Love Meghan on Zoom, and this is Karen, Amira, and Zakiya.
I've only watched 2 episodes, and what I like about it is that it's not a show I normally watch on a regular basis, but this is someone you could tell loves entertaining and crafting and making people feel at home, and cooking really is her love language. You know, it sounds corny, but it is. She loves cooking for her husband and her kids, and she makes everything look so effortless. Like on the first episode with the one pot spaghetti, I'm like, I gotta try that recipe. In the cake that she made, in the tea, and she just makes everything seem so easy. It's a really good comfort watch to watch over the weekend. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I like it. I think it's just really chill. And those types of shows are really chill. It kind of reminds me of like Great British Baking Show, where it's like, it's one of those shows that you can pop in and out of. I watched all 8 episodes in basically a day. I wasn't going to have time to like watch them in bits and pieces, but I enjoyed it. I liked the episode with her 2 girlfriends, with Abigail and Kelly. I liked the Roy Choi episode, and I liked the episode with the founder of Tatcha. But yeah, I liked them. I thought it was a cute show. And I think the second season, if they do a second season, which I think they should, and they probably will, I think will probably be a bit more expansive. I think they kept small and manageable for a first season, which I think was smart. And they might have people in the second season that aren't actual friends of hers. So then it'll be more of like more interview style. Because she had people that she didn't know, but most of the people on the show are people that she had known previously. So,
but it's so funny that women that hate Meghan and don't like her have watched the entire series before I did. And I like her. Like, they were there at 12:01 midnight, up in the middle of the night, watching this show of a woman that they hate and cannot stand, before people who actually like Meghan, and I'm interested in seeing what she does. I haven't even gotten to it yet.
The thing is, I think they're so angry that despite everything, she seems very happy. She's very happy to be married to Harry. She's very happy with her children. She's happy with her little quiet life in Montecito, and, you know, having her rich ass wife going out to lunch with Serena Williams. And who could relate to Martha Stewart? No one. Martha Stewart built this empire on this lifestyle that people wanted to have. And so she can do it, but Meghan can't. Okay.
Someone was talking on I think it was CB, that they were like disappointed with what she had posted as far as what she's selling. And I'm like, why? They're like, I thought it was going to be more. I'm like, no, I think it's smart to start small. And then as time goes on, she'll expand it. But I didn't think she was going to have like a whole Target line, you know?
So yeah, I like what Amira was saying about how it's smart to start small with the As Ever product line. I'm also wondering, like, why didn't she call it With Love Meghan? But she probably just wanted it to not be branded with her name.
I don't know. I never really thought about it. Like, I think because we didn't know the name of either, like the show or the product line forever. So, yeah. And there were, you know, probably copyright issue or trademark issues with everything. So
there was with the American Riviera Orchard.
Right. I don't know what Netflix had to do about the show's name. Yeah, so who knows? I actually think that As Ever could be called As Ever Meghan, and I think that would handle a lot of the trademark issues.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, I like that.
But right now it's As Ever.
The stuff looks really pretty. They've got tea, crepe mix, shortbread cookies, flour sprinkles, and jam, and honey. I'm going to get the honey and the jam probably. I don't want to start getting the flour sprinkles because then I'm going to always want them. And it seems like it's going to be an expensive habit. Do you know what I mean? Well, if I start using them, I mean, like, oh, I need those.
There was a lot of synergy in the show about those flour sprinkles. She was putting that shit on everything.
They were pretty, yeah. I guess you can get them on Etsy or whatever. But like,
I think you could probably just make your own. But
yeah, or make your own. Yeah, good for her. You know?
Yeah, I hope there's more synergy. I really do. I want there to be more merch. I want aprons. I want oven mitts.
I wear a little apron. Oven mitts.
Seriously, oven mitts. I want pot holders.
I mean, tea towels.
I want a Meghan line of La Crusette. Yeah.
I liked when Mindy's like, oh my gosh, it's so heavy. It's like a kettlebell. But I don't, she said something like that. So I just got to say, Meghan's on Drew Barrymore's show today, and you guys have probably heard it by the time this episode comes out. We haven't heard it yet, so we can't talk about what she's talking about with Drew.
I bet they go twee for twee. I bet they are like peas in a pod.
I watched some of Drew's show to get myself prepared for it because I find her very annoying. And I was like, okay, I can watch Meghan's. I have it set to tape on my Fubo. Or Fubo, so.
She's an acquired taste, Drew. I mean.
She's a lot.
I
can't believe she has a show, but whatever. Everybody has different tastes. All right, let's move on to the comments of the week.
All right, my comment of the week is from, so Ione Skye has written a memoir, and People magazine has been running like this series of like exclusive interviews with her and like highlighting the memoir. I'm going to order the book. It's called Say
Nice.
Everything, and it sounds like really like 90s focused. And
that's a Gen X dirt.
Yeah. And so in the People interview and in the book, she talks about why her marriage to Adam Horowitz fell apart. And it was because she was sleeping with Jenny Shimizu.
She's cheating.
Yeah. And like Jenny Shimizu taught her that she was bisexual, that Ione Skye was bisexual. So EmpressCakey wrote, "It's crazy that the only way I know of Jenny Shimizu is through the famous women she has slept with, because it's true."
I know. I've never heard of her other than as Angelina Jolie. Who else has she hooked up with? She's always talking too.
I mean, I guess she's turned a lot of women. I don't know.
That's cheating. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if it's still cheating.
I mean, I want to know if like Jenny Shimizu, Angelina, and Ione have ever like gotten together and talked. Was there overlap? Who knows?
Talked? You were just like suggesting something else. I know it.
No, I really mean it. Like, what the hell?
Oh, if they know each other. Oh, because it was around the same era.
It was. I mean, Jenny Shimizu was probably sleeping with Angelina at the same time she was sleeping with Ione.
Jenny was getting around. Damn. How do you score those beautiful women? Like,
Well, Jenny's really beautiful.
Yeah, she's pretty too. I'm just saying, like. So my comment of the week is from your post where Jennifer Garner's like, no, I'm not getting back with Ben Affleck. It's all done through sources. And I think Ben's side did it to get him in the news again for some reason, because now he's denying it in TMZ, but it was in Page 6, which has got a lot of inside quotes from him. And then People ran it too. So it's not just rumors that Ben wants Jennifer Garner back or whatever.
Right. That he's ready to switch Jennifers.
There was a tweet. I hope I can find it again. But it was like, oh, he has to find the third Goldilocks Jennifer. Because he was the first one and the second one. You got to find the third one now.
The sad thing is that I think he would probably be perfectly content going from Jennifer to Jennifer for the rest of his life.
He's not going to stick with one. He's shown that time and again. So my comment of the week is from Jess. It's on your post about Jennifer Garner saying that Ben has a dark side. And Jess wrote, "This is classic narcissist behavior. You love bomb someone until they fall for you, and then you get bored. But after the target wises up, you dump them." I'm paraphrasing. And then you come back and love bomb them again. It will continue until the target cuts off the narcissist completely.
Well, I mean,
this is true.
That's what he did to J-Lo.
Yeah.
Like, he love bombed her. He made all these promises.
And she fell for, I mean, I can't blame her. It happens.
Yeah. And, like, that was the one who got away for J-Lo.
Ugh, for good reason. Like, the dude leaves you at the altar, you're like, bye.
She had so much unfinished business. But I still think it's crazy that he just decided one day that he was done with that marriage.
That's what narcissists and BPDs do.
Yeah, I guess.
I dated one, not my ex-husband, by the way. It is not my ex-husband, not the father of my son. And he's still texting me now over 2 years later. I just ignore it. Because he must get bored and in between relationships, you know, I just ignore him. He's like, oh, I miss you, Katie. I'm like, I didn't block you on this phone, I guess, you know.
And plus, I think there are a lot of men, maybe they're all narcissists, like you say, but like, I think there are a lot of men who like to keep some women on a string. They always like to know that they could reel them back in at any point. And I think Ben is definitely like that.
Or they get lonely and bored. I think he definitely has narcissist or BPD tendencies because we've seen him do this to so many women. And that's what Jennifer Garner said, you know, when he comes in, it's like the sun is there and then he turns on the shadow or what something she said in her Vanity Fair interview.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought it was interesting last year, right when J-Lo filed for divorce, like sources close to Garner kind of came out in support of J-Lo.
Because Jennifer Garner knows. I mean, he cheated on her with the nanny.
Yeah.
On vacation. How do you know that about this guy and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry him? Like, what?
J-Lo thought he changed, okay?
No. All right, well, thanks for listening, bitches.
Thanks, bitches.
Thank you for listening to the Celebrity Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you like us, please turn off your ad blocker when you visit our site. You can text us or leave a voicemail at 434-218-3219. Our music is from AA Alto, Maiden, and via Premium Beat and Sound of Picture. Thanks again. I want to talk more, but I don't want to edit all that.
I get it. I wanted to talk more about Jenny Shimizu and Ione Skye, but whatever.
I don't know enough about it, you know. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to change the subject so much.
No, it's fine. Because we still don't really know, like, how hardcore the relationship was between Angelina and Jenny.
I think it was pretty serious.
Yeah. I mean, Angelina left her husband, Johnny.
Oh, for Johnny?
Yeah.
She left Johnny for Jenny.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Ben Affleck's third Jenny.